However, that may not be completely true with what I said about the time we spend with them. The time part was true, but what I said about we love them, the word we may have been a bit of a jump. Really, my brothers love them. I love them too, but just because of the fact they were my parents, they really are just a gigantic pain in my ass most of the time. Here is the truth. When it comes to my religion and the nation I live in and the fact I am a royal but not the monarch yet, I kind of hate it because I'm not the monarch yet. I've never been able to live a normal life because of my autism. Have I been living a better life as an autistic guy? No. I really do want to know in all honesty because, I really do know in all honesty, to be honest, because I have been treated for it, but my parents raised me to hate society, so I do. Do I want to hate society? No. You see, the reason why I hate society is because of my least favorite term, which is, it is what it is. This is also why we do believe in God, because we don't believe in randomness. We believe God places obstacles in our way to get through life. It's just that sometimes we are each other's obstacles. As in the case for me, my parents are the biggest obstacle for me. Even my autism in school are now less of obstacles than they were because they make other obstacles more difficult. I do love them because they just make my life harder, and I will not I will not lie. I may have just exaggerated a bit because I really do love my parents. It is just that my mom has been more difficult to cooperate with ever since George was born, and my dad wants me to stand up for myself. When it comes to my other obstacles, school just became harder because of my life at home became harder, and that's the same case with my autism. Sam has told me he is in middle school now and will be in 7th grade after this summer, and he will be in 7th grade, that he has been feeling the same way lately, especially now that he is in middle school. Well, my brother George hasn't begun kindergarten yet. He will begin kindergarten after this summer, but he is so naive to know what is going on completely. I may have said this already, but I know he knows he has autism because we bring up autism a lot, but we have never discussed what the full autism thing actually is with him. My parents said we will wait until 4th grade to explain that to him, where it is really because that was when my parents told us what we didn't know. The interesting thing about our parents telling us what the full deal about our autism is in the 4th grade and not earlier is that neither me and Sam have been able to place our mental issues or were sending us to charter schools, and they were directly brought up upon for autism. George's charter school is also where he has been going to preschool, and because of how young he is, he can't place things together, obviously. I have mixed feelings about when I think about George not being able to place things together, because sometimes I think he is blessed for not knowing what is going on mentally, and how our entire family was randomly given autism, which currently affects 1 in 68 people through the part of the randomness, which is both of our parents have autism, so it spread to us genetically, while at the same time I feel bad because since he hasn't gone to kindergarten yet, he doesn't really know how badly it will mess up his life. Okay, so maybe the term mess up may have been a jump, because people may like the fact they have autism, but I currently don't. I don't like the fact that I have autism because I am a wired pessimist, and that means I view the world in a negative way. I personally view the world in a negative way because my parents view the world in a negative way. But I have more negative feelings toward the world because of how I view my parents. Again, I do believe in God strongly because I believe God is what puts up my life's obstacles in my way. But with that said, I do believe that all this negative energy God puts in me is why I have become a bit of an asshole these past few years. But that's not enough to make me stop believing in God. Nothing will ever be enough to make me stop believing in God. Nothing. However, there were some things that made me stop being sane, and unfortunately, that time has come now. I have had it with dealing with my parents in school, and unfortunately, it wasn't until about 3 months ago when I punched my dad in the face that I realized that I had it. So I came up with a reasonable solution. I'm going to transition into a new persona. The reason why I'm going to do this is because I've had it with my parents' bullshit, and the reason why I punched my dad was when I felt that my parents were neglecting me for going through a hard time in high school. I also have to say that bothers me that my brothers are partially responsible for this too, and even Sam. I haven't really been able to click with my parents ever since George was born. Sam, he is really close to my dad, and George, all he wants is to be around my mother as much as possible, and adores her and is cuddled by her before always. The scary thing about that is that my parents don't know I feel that way about them, that they feel they spend too much time with their other children. It may be my fault a bit, because I sometimes don't want to be around them, but the truth of the matter is, I do love them. It's just that I am scared that if I tell them or my brothers, they will yell at me, and I don't want them to yell at me. However, that isn't stopping me from transitioning into my new persona. My parents don't know I am doing this. Sam does, because I am so much closer to him than George, and I am scared that George will spill the beans to my parents when I know for a fact Sam won't. I told my aunts and grandparents in my school council I'm going to do this, and all they said was, "Good luck making a fool of yourself." I don't care if I am making a fool of myself. And this is how it is going to be for my senior year of high school. If my parents think it is okay to pull pointless bullshit on me, as stealing my previous summer for a job program and stealing this one by forcing me to go to a college training program in the United States at the University of Chicago, when my front runner for when I graduate high school is Loyola, where my parents went to college, they just steal my summer from me for pointlessness. They also didn't steal from Sam and George, probably because they are younger than me. But my main job is to make the world a better place as a royal, and I don't have the time to do that if they steal my time. Making the world a better place is my main duty is royalty for me, behind being the next in line for the throne. I want to do more work in the United States for all the mistreatment among my minorities caused by their evil president, Donald Trump. One of the best things I ever did was when I befriended a Muslim girl in my Spanish class. After Trump got inaugurated a few months ago. I didn't want to tell my parents I was doing that, but he found out after I punched the kid in the face when he thought it was funny to yank her hijab off. That was when I punched my dad, because I already had enough energy of punching someone, and my dad was angry at me that I stepped in like that, and then I told him he and Mom should step in like that on me. He then screamed at me to go to my room, and I did, but I jammed my fist into his face first. My mom the next day rode the Brown Line with me to Paulina, and I stayed on to go to Kimball. She confronted me saying that what I did was wrong to punch that kid, and that I lost summer vacation to go anywhere, and she didn't want me stepping in on social issues like that, despite how liberal my mom is. I don't think about stepping on social issues because I don't care about not stepping in on social issues because I am going to. No one should have hate thrown at them because their religion, because I'm not a Christian. I understand that my mom's rules or her rules because she loves me, but the truth of the matter is I am 17 years old. I can take care of myself without hearing her say that hearing her say the way of how I am living my life is wrong. But again, I do love her, and I love my dad too, even if he takes my mom's side way too much. That's why I am transitioning into this new persona, because I love them. Before the shit they pull on me, I am scared I am going to stop. So I am transitioning into this new persona so I can love my parents forever and ever. That is also why I didn't tell them about me doing this. Because I love them and I want to get away with this. Because if I told them about this, they would try and stop me. And if they try and stop me, it will lead to a fight and that will be the end of my love for them. I don't anticipate me being this persona forever. But at least for a few years, because I'm angry. When do I transition back to Marcus Philip Robbins? I don't know. However, this is how my new persona is going to be like. It is going to be a mix of 3 characters and people who I adore. Spider-Man. Since my dad works for Marvel Comics, I have a favorite Marvel superhero, and that is Spider-Man, with his fast abilities and his witty humor. Pee Wee Herman. I am a goofball sometimes. And why not? We all love being a goofball sometimes. Johnny Cochran, a man who I adore for all of his efforts in civil rights. The truth of the matter is, if you can get a black man off with that much evidence against him, you have to be a pretty damn good lawyer. I also adore civil rights leaders because I am also fighting for equal rights for all whenever I am in the United States due to their terrible president who supports hate crimes. I am also now, from now on, going to dress as I do with a royal, along with a red coat and my usual fedora hat, and a custom-made hiking stick. I made in shop class in my high school last year along with gloves and sunglasses. I plan on going to school dressed like this, and I plan on teachers calling me by my new name. Before I reveal what my new name is going to be, I do want to say this. I know that by choosing this name, I am committing identity fraud and glorifying myself because this name makes me look like a Greek god, and it does. But I still don't care because I chose it for that reason and to look tough. I actually take back something I said a few minutes ago. I'm going to transition back into Marcus Philip Robbins for one reason and one reason only, and that is when I finally think my parents aren't assholes. From this point on, Marcus Philip Robbins isn't exactly dead, but he isn't here anymore. My name is now, and until further notice, which may not be for many years, Dr. Morcassius. But I'm not going to talk in that voice.